So yeah, it really is not possible for everyone to keep up. I mean, Sam Altman, even of OpenAI, will say he can't keep up with what's going on. So maybe that idea of keeping up is not the right idea anymore, right? There's some different approach. And so in my talks, my keynotes, I like to focus on what are the ways to think, like what mental models should we have in order to best use or develop the best relationship with AI, right?
Olá, Ler, sejam bem-vindos para mais um conteúdo da Ler e agora temos a honra de receber aqui ele, que é um dos keynotes do RD Summit onde estamos. Estamos aqui com Neil Redding. Neil, we're so happy to have you here. Thank you very much. Yeah. So the first question, you describe yourself as a near futurist, so someone who anticipates the future and bring it into the present. How does this perspective help you understand AI's role today?
Yeah. So when I say I'm a near futurist, I really want to distinguish myself from, I don't focus on trends or prediction, things like that. But as a technologist, I'm trained as a computer scientist. I've done software and technology for 30 plus years. So I'm really focused on, as technology is evolving more and more rapidly, right, especially with AI, what are these new capabilities that are showing up that can be made practical for brands, for businesses, in the context of connecting businesses, connecting people with businesses and brands with people. So that lens is, I'm using AI more and more to help me track all the new capabilities that are coming out every week and separate out the ones that are really important for my clients and ones that maybe they can wait off, So that near futurist approach is how that works.
Yeah, I got it. And you often talk about how AI is reshaping and redesigning our lives and businesses. What strikes you most about all this? The speed of technology or the difficulty you still have in keeping up with it?
Yeah. No one, especially me, can keep up with it. It's pretty crazy. I think what's happening now is that, and technology used to evolve or improve or change entirely driven by humans creating, new versions, humans working hard to create some new thing. The thing that's different now is that AI is kind of evolving on its own, right? That we see even the developers of these big AI models will say, they don't even understand how it's doing what it's doing, right? It has this life of its own now. So yeah, it really is not possible for everyone to keep up. Sam Altman, even of OpenAI, will say he can't keep up with what's going on. So maybe that idea of keeping up is not the right idea anymore, right? There's some different approach. And so in my talks, my keynotes, I like to focus on what are the ways to think, like what mental models should we have in order to best use or develop the best relationship with AI, right? And so I'm really focused on, at the moment, this idea of participation, having AI and inviting AI to participate in our work, sort of like if you hired a new junior person, having them come in and watch your work and start to learn how you work and then collaborate slowly as you trust them, you learn to trust them. And that model of engagement with AI, I feel like is the most useful. And I think it also helps me stay focused on what actually matters most, right? Like where I should focus.
Yeah, perfect. And throughout your career, you have worked with major companies exploring new technologies. What have you learned about making innovation truly valuable rather than just a passing fad?
I show in my talk this near future framework, right? So it's a simple way. I talk about near futurism as connecting the possible with the practical. And if you see my talk, this diagram that shows we come in and start working with a company. We look at the practical state of the company, what is its brand? What does it mean? Who are its customers? What are its business model? What is it focused on? Goals, challenges. And then when we look at emerging new possibilities, we actually use AI, machine learning, to match the state of the business and all these practical ways with these new possibilities, and then create the intersection of these, we just call them practical possibilities, and start to prototype and test these ideas. So that's really how we focus on engagement.
Perfect.
the clients that we have.
Yeah, perfect. And when you talk about redesigning businesses, of course, not just talking about technology, right? What kind of cultural and leadership changes need to happen for AI to generate real transformation rather than just some like an innovation that gets stuck in rhetoric, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So you may have seen there have been a number of studies that MIT and others this year, the last few months actually, that have said most companies surveyed are saying they don't see much return on investment yet from AI, right? These are big companies that are ultimately trying to just sort of fit AI into their existing way of doing business, right? That's kind of a recipe for failure or failure mode at this point, because AI is so different from previous software and previous technology that the only way to actually get real value is to re-engineer how you do your work, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've had this experience, but what I'm finding is that the way I get things done, whether it's writing an article or writing a keynote or creating a new deck or pitch deck or even answering emails, right? I need to, in order to really get the value that I can get from AI, I need to rethink what that workflow is, right? How I do it. Like when do I involve technology in the process of going from idea to end product, you know? And it's very different. And I'm learning over time, you know, some people, I'll say one more thing. There's this whole world of AI slop, right?
Yeah.
Which is not just sort of crappy video, although there is a lot of that, right? Or images, but also like written things, right? Like if you look on social media or LinkedIn especially, right? There's so many posts on LinkedIn that are just clearly AI, written by AI, by someone who is lazy enough to just say, write me a post about this, and then just put it up there, and it just looks like every other AI written post, and it's not worth reading, right? It's just kind of boring.
There's no connection.
There's no connection, but it just feels very formula. You know, there's a way that AI tends to write for LinkedIn, say, you know, or write an article. So instead of just delegating the whole thing to AI, you know, what actually works much better is, and this is just what I do, and I think a lot of people, is use AI, use a chatbot to come up, you know, sometimes you can come up with ideas. You can like test different ideas and then have the next stage of the workflow be, I actually write the article, right? I'll write the thing, or I'll write the pitch deck, or I'll write the narrative, and then pass that back to an AI and say, critique this. Like, what do you think? If you're going to be really critical, like, don't just tell me, oh, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen, because that happens too, right? But I'm writing this for an audience of, you know, salespeople at iFood, say, right? Or marketing people at Itaú or Vivo or whatever it is, right? In the context of the work that you do, have the AI critique it from that perspective. You know what I mean? Like say, oh, if you were that CMO at Vivo, what would you think of what I just created, right? And then you have that that feedback that you don't even have access to without AI, right? Like you're not going to call up or send an email to the CMO of your client, but you can AI does have enough knowledge from all of the training data to be able to critique it from that perspective. And so I'm just giving an example of different ways that you can change the workflow for in the creative marketing or advertising process, or really any other workflow, you know, is to look at where is the value created by humans and where is their value coming from AI, you know, and how do you produce something that's actually different and valuable and not just what everyone else is doing.
All right. Yeah. I had this question. What role do you think empathy and the human perspective still play? I think it's a lot of that, right?
A lot of that empathy, I mean, between people or in the context even of marketing.
Yeah, people in general.
Yeah, but I think
in marketing too, but people in general, you know, we still need the human empathy to create things and to connect with people, right?
We do. And I think, you know, I mean, AI can demonstrate a sense based on, again, it's like, it's read everything we've created, right? It's like looked at everything we've created. It's looked at everything on YouTube. It's looked at everything on the internet. So it has some kind of understanding of empathy and what it means to be empathic, but I don't know we could say that it is empathic, that it does feel what we feel in a way that humans can feel, or that I can have a sense of what you're feeling right now. And in general, right, I think empathy is one of many human qualities, human capabilities that we want to really lean into as AI starts to do. I mean, AI is really, really good. It's actually already at human level intelligence, PhD level academic work, just about any kind of intelligence work, AI is already at human level. And now these AI companies are looking for superhuman level, right? Doing things no human could do. But that's the realm of intelligence. And I think we're getting clear on how intelligence is different from empathy, how it's different from this kind of connection that we have right now, right? These are not the same thing. So I like to think AI is kind of holding up a mirror to us and saying, well, I can do all these things. What can you do? Well, that's the question for us to answer. And empathy is certainly one of them. And this feeling of presence that we have when we're physically together is like a magical kind of experience that I think you really want to lean into as much as possible.
Yeah, of course. I totally agree. And talking about generative AI is changing the way we learn, the way we create, even think. In your view, are we entering a new era of creativity, or are we becoming a little too dependent on algorithms?
On algorithms? Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think there's always a balance, right? When even before algorithmic creativity, right, or generative AI creativity, like say wind the clock back, 3 years, right, where no one was really using, or maybe 4 years, we'll say 4 years, right? No one was using generative AI for creative work. We still were using all kinds of powerful tools that we didn't used to use, right? And some people would say, using After Effects, say that's like cheating, right? It's a shortcut because you should just be like animating it yourself. Maybe not, right? I think the question is like, is it valuable to hand create animation, or could we just let a tool do that for us, right? I think creativity, there's a lot of conversation about this right now, right? I mean, you've got everyone from like Rick Rubin, I don't know if you've seen his book, like the creative life, like the creative act, a way of life, which is really a very timely exploration of what is it to be creative. And it's clear that these AI models can produce photorealistic, video with humans speaking in natural language, in English, in Portuguese, whatever. And is that creativity? I don't know. I think we're discovering that there's something hard to define about creativity, that sort of we know it when we see it. And like AI can generate kind of cool stuff, but it's not gonna, it still is essential for us to like bring the idea, bring the brief, bring the direction. Otherwise it doesn't know what to do, right? So but creativity is certainly still in our concepting and direction of the AI. And I think that's where we need to focus in the near term, is like the creative idea process. Because AI can do the execution, right, to a large degree. I think it's going to be the ideas more than anything.
Perfect. Maybe it's an era of transformation of the creativity.
I think so. I mean, doesn't it feel like creativity is always transforming?
Yeah.
Like I was saying, 10 years ago, it was different from 5 years ago, and now it's different from 5 years ago. 5 years from now,
it's going to be different too.
Very different. A year from now, very different. 5 months from now, it's evolving really rapidly. So I'm excited though. I mean, how do you feel? Does it feel?
I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, I think we're living a real transformation, and I don't know. 20 years ago, the Photoshop was something that everyone was concerned about it, and now everyone uses. So I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, agree. I mean, I am excited. I feel like there are many reasons why I talk about AI as a new species, but one of them is I feel like this is just life as a human on Earth going forward, probably forever, is we now are sharing the planet, sharing the world with this new species or new set of species that are equal or maybe soon even superior to us in certain ways, certain intelligent ways. It's not going away, right? I think we're giving AI everything it needs, all the resource, all the money, all the capital, all the energy So it's going to keep evolving in ways that, we don't know exactly. Just like if you have a child grows up and you don't know what the child's going to do.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is to stay engaged.
Yeah.
And if you stay engaged with your child, you have a relationship that's strong. You will have, a collaborative, effective, I think, positive relationship, that you can keep growing together. And I think that's what humans and AI are going to be doing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The first
So I think I'm optimistic for that reason. I think the other thing is that I don't think the future is already created. I think it's something we keep creating. So I think optimism or pessimism isn't the right question. It's like, it's up to us.
Neil, thank you so much. We're so happy to have you here.
Yes.
And please leave your message to the Brazilian people and the audience and how people can find you online.
Sure thing. Yes. As I mentioned, I love Brazil. I think I've been here 5 or 6 times. Well, yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Always my name, Neil Redding, NeilRedding on Instagram, LinkedIn. It's easy to find as well. But then my website, neilredding.com, has a lot of video of me speaking, some articles, some podcasts, maybe this one soon as well.
Yeah,
out there on video. And I look forward to connecting with all of you. So, muito obrigado, Leira, and até mais.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Neil. We appreciate that. Obrigado a você que assistiu aqui mais um conteúdo da Layup. A gente se vê no próximo. E para seguir a Layup é só clicar nos links que estão na descrição ou então na legenda aqui de onde esse vídeo foi postado. A gente se vê na próxima. Tchau, tchau.